Ho ho buddies, once Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and today we're playing 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And last time, I'm pretty confident that we're really near the end of the game. But regardless, last time we saw that Clover died in the first cabin room, which was one of the first rooms that we unlocked. We also suspect... Because of, so we know that Ace is the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. We also know that Ace has a rare condition where you don't recognize faces. I can't remember what that's called. But basically he has that. And the theory now is that he's the one that killed Snake. Now, I can't remember whether he agreed that he killed Snake or whether he's now going to push back on that. Well, he's at least admitting here that he is the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals and that he has that condition. So, it was as though a switch had been flipped. The colour drained from Ace's face, and as he realised what he'd done, his eyes went wide. Very well, I admit that much. I am certainly the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Gentaro Hungaru. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this nonary game that supposedly took place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see. First of all, Ace stammered as he tried desperately to work himself to a more tenable position. Junpei, you're claiming I did this all by myself. Think that over, alright? How could I have killed Snake all by myself? Not Snake, it was Guy X. I don't care who it was. Oh yeah, because it wasn't Snake, actually. You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, you could have. Yeah, I guess he could have. So he's got... So he's 1, 9... If he took, what's his name's... the 9th guy's bracelet, could he have done it with that? Huh? 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 What? Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close. Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then I took this. Junpei put his hand into his pocket. No, you couldn't have. Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled. I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know. Is it another trick? You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed. All you needed to open door 3. 1 plus 2 plus 9 is equal to 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket. Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth, twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead. Tell me. I don't have a bracelet if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven? Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. Oops. Do that so often. Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Scarcely. Then it stopped. His arms came down and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the Red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B deck. His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter. My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root. 1 plus 9 is equal to 10. 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. But it adds another player. Yeah, I get it. As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere, with anyone. It is, I suppose you could say, a game changer. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. In mere moments. I successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. There was also an unexpected bonus. The knife the 9th man had used. I quickly pocketed both of them and left. I made my way back to where I was expected to be. That's when I ran into Snake. Well, this guy X, actually. I spotted him ahead of me. He was heading for the large hospital room and hadn't noticed me. The man wearing Snake's clothes arrived at door 3. When he stopped, I walked up behind him and called out. Snake? He turned around. He said nothing, his mouth simply hung half open. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he'd been drugged. It wasn't important. I tend to gloss over little things like that. I was certain that man was Snake. I knew Snake had taken part in the nonary game 9 years ago. Being blind, it made sense that he didn't recognize me immediately upon our first meeting. But why then hadn't Snake why hadn't Snake said anything to me later? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the nonary game. But not once did he attempt to confront me. Did his lack of sight prevent him from fully recognizing who I was? Or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive me. Regardless, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. I had to get rid of him before he took action. With quick thinking, my plan went into motion immediately. I held the number 9 bracelet over the Red. I waved my own bracelet in front of the Red and then grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. I threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. "81 seconds passed. Kaboom. The man inside the door passed away. After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang. Ace's eyes were cold and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily silent. No, still. It was also silent, I guess. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed and then spoke. Ace, did you kill Clover? Yes. Why? Why did you kill her? She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it. Found what? Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere. Seven and Lotus interrupted. Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious. Yes, I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it. Which one was door 1 again? But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was therefore desperate to find her. And at last I did in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it? See what? Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you? What are you talking about? Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover? What? Nothing. There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone. No! Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way. You aren't going anywhere. He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor. Hard. Ah! You're staying here. No! She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. Don't you run, little girl. He was faster. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, she had something in her pockets, didn't she? What did she have? That was how I killed Clover. His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything, one might feel after taking the life of another human being. It didn't show. You son of a bitch! Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Ooh. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus's and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Huh. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humour in it. He shook his head and sighed. I admit it. I've lost. I've lost completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. I looked the fool. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room, if he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He'd also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting to me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the Red before we arrived. I've no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything. Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. It must punish them. I must punish them. For the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they'll receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered other words. Words he'd heard from Clover. I think Zero is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace. Santa. June. Seven. Lotus. Zero is one of us. No, wait. There's one more person. Snake. The man who died in the shower room isn't Snake. That means he's almost certainly still alive. Maybe Snake is Zero. Maybe he made Guy X wear his clothes so that we'd all think he was dead. Where's Snake now? What if he's off somewhere laughing at us? If he's Zero, he must have been lying to us about everything else. Is he watching us? Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving? He sounded as if he just finished doing nothing more than the more exciting. I see. He sounded as if he just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw. What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch. We're gonna leave your ass here to rot. Why? Because I killed Clover. That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch? She was nothing to you, a stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You bastard! Seven roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. But someone else was faster. Lotus. It was Lotus. She stepped forward toward Ace, raising a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose. Blindsided me with a punch, huh? You've got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman. He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow. Well, maybe you'd like another one, then. Ah, before that, let me give you one of my own. Huh? Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. Uh-oh, it's that gun again. It was a gun. The revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head. If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger. I've already killed 2. No, 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4. Ooh. 3 people? What do you mean? Very well, let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although, I suppose, to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. Oh yeah, because he was like, he lied to me or whatever. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once. So I gave him a little hush. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's behind door 5. We'll meet again later. And, with that... Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then. Shit! Why isn't it stopping, goddammit? You lied! Open the door, please, I'm begging you! Help me. Please, get me out of here! Get me out of here! Ah! Oh my god, there's no time left! Listen, I was lied to. He lied to me. He put me in here. It was him. He killed me. It was him! Yeah! I had 4 reasons for killing him. 1. Nothing wrong with me. As I said before in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of utmost importance. If I'd allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he would be eliminated early on. 2. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I'd be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I'd be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. That's the second reason. 3. Even setting aside his number, he'd have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminated him before he was able to disseminate this information. 4. Lastly, I wish to conduct a simple test. A test to see if this nonary game was serious or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome. Junpei glared at him. I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago? Didn't I say the nonary game was played? I planned it out and I conducted its execution. Why? What on earth was it supposed to do? I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that. Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them and it was working. Although Ace was paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook. Hey, what's with this gun? Where did he get this? Why don't you tell her, Santa? Santa ground his teeth and glared at Ace. On the other side of door 6. We found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? The bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking. Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying, you intended to leave it behind. Ace laughed, a short, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickeningly pitying look. Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then. Where are you going? Do I really need to explain? I'd assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus. 9 plus 8 plus 1 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it? And how do you know that? Santa told me about it when we were looking for Clover. I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination, but now I must say goodbye to all of you. And please don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know. As he spoke, Ace began backing toward the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him. Shit. He's getting away. But we can't risk it. Junpei, Santa, June and Seven stood frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit. Now, Lotus, open the door for me, if you would. He forced Lotus to open it, then turned and addressed them once more. Goodbye. Then he stepped through the door. It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. Damn it. As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob... There was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily. Hey, June, what happened? Are you alright? Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way. Jesus, you're burning up. Your fever's back. Are you okay? June's fever had returned, again, for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watering, her eyelids drooped, her breath came in dry, shallow gasps. I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus. She was breathing hard now, but she could barely summon the strength to talk. But Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state that she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was farther away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile. Junpei, don't worry about me. I just needed a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So please save Lotus. Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's just going to let her walk away? Damn it. God damn it. You guys go on ahead. Soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go! Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set. Alright. Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace. Hell yeah! Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you. Got it. Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running towards the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him. Let's go. LFG gamers. Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway with their feet pounding the metal floor as they ran. We gotta make it in time. Junpei and Seven had finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room. Where are they? I don't see them. You think they already went through? He reached up to wipe a palm full of sweat from his brow. Maybe. Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors. Let's check the red. The display panel read vacant. He spun around and headed toward the smaller door. This red would tell them if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room. Engaged. It's occupied. That means Ace and Lotus went through here. Yeah, it seems like it. Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began to talk. What do we do now? Yeah, what should we do? Well, the big door is still vacant, but... The two of us can't go through with it. Go do anything with it. Yeah, not even counting how our digital route isn't 9. Just then, as they were pondering what to do next. Hang on, who've we got? 5, 7. 5 and 7. 12. You would have to have June come. Oh, this is the knocking. There was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel. What's that sound? Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room, looking for the source of the sound. It's coming from over there. It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it. The coffin. Yeah. Let's open it. How? By force. I don't think that's going to happen. Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? I forget. I saw it on a poster once. Anyway, we've got to try. Junpei and Seven leapt at the coffin. They grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled. Damn it. See, didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that? Oh, if you could pull it, I see. If you could pull it open, why would it have something like that? 7 pointed at a keypad on the side of the coffin. Right, so unless I put the right passcode, it's not going to open. The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it had only gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do? Junpei wondered. Was there some sort of clue somewhere? Just another dead end. They stood there for a few moments staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke. Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone, or something like that. Yeah, that's right. What about it? Well, maybe the numbers, the passcode. Maybe the numbers are the passcode for this thing too. Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe. Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these. Yeah, probably. Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them. That's ridiculous. Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you make things any worse. It'd just be a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number. How'd you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Yeah, he very quickly backed down on that ideology, didn't he? Who said that? You. Oh, yeah. Fine. He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. Perhaps because he'd repeated them so many times before, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind. 14383421. Quickly, he typed them in. He checked that he'd entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment. Whoa! What? You've got to be kidding me. There was a click. Holy shit. And with a heavy chunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone sat up from inside. Is it Snake? It is Snake. Snake! Why? Those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken. Oh. Those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere? Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and Seven looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but they had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked in the coffin. Apparently he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and Seven explained what had happened to the rest of them. I see. I believe I got the gist of everything. Have I been sufficiently caught up? No. There was one last thing they kept from him. There was one thing, however, that neither Seven nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. The Ace had killed Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane. Yeah. They decided as much by looking at by a look the moment Snake had climbed out of the coffin. But that still doesn't explain why you're trapped in here. We've still no clue. We still got no clue about Zero's true identity, let alone why the hell he's doing all this. Why did he put Guy X in Snake's clothes? Is all this stuff somehow related to the nunnery game that was played 9 years ago? Hey Snake, do you know anything? Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating. What are you talking about? I apologize, but I've no idea what you're saying. It seemed as though Snake was perhaps not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven a little good. What question did they just put to him? Do you know anything Oh, I see. This is 9 years ago. Okay, I got it. Oh, come on. Just tell us if you know. I don't know what to tell you. How could I know something I don't? No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. Where's his, bracelet? It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted. So maybe this is actually the Snake that we had before was a fake Snake? This is bad. We're running out of time. We need to go after Ace. However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood, at a loss for what they should do next. What do we do now? He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist. Oh, okay, there's a bracelet. The 3 of us can't make a digital route of 9. Yeah, we'll just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh, hey, I just remembered something. Seven began patting his pockets as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything. What? What is it? I found something earlier. What did you find? This. He'd finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. Oh, the 0. A bracelet. So, she'd pocketed the 0 bracelet. Right, okay. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye. 0. Zero's bracelet. What did you say? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet? Yeah. Where did you get that? Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he'd have noticed 7 look away. Clover gave it to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see? On the other side of the door. 1, A deck in the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulky for her to be looking around. He's lying. Junpei could tell right away that 7 wasn't telling the truth. He even told us earlier. I haven't actually looked at it yet. I didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know, basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. You probably said that so Snake doesn't find out about Clover. Alright, Junpei. Been nice knowing you. What? 7 plus 2 plus 0 is 9. Come on, man, I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, alright? Without waiting for a response, he started walking toward the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. 7 and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, 7 put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. 7 plus 2 plus 0 is 9. Now they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open. Error. Huh. Why isn't it opening? Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet. Maybe it isn't actually 0. Oh. Huh? What? If it's an O, then it's that whole nonsense of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's whatever O is in the alphabet plus 9. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. So 20. So it's actually 29. That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains. Got it. Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. So Snake and Junpei and the bracelet. So if that is 29, Snake and Junpei. Snake is 2, Junpei is 2, 29 plus 7. So they're both 14, right? So 29. 29 plus 14 is 53? That doesn't sound right. Junpei and 7 on the bracelet. So Junpei and 7 is 12. So 12 plus 29. What am I doing? 12 plus 29 is 41, right? Snake and Junpei is that, so that's 5 and 7. Yes. 2 and 5. 29, that's 37. I mean, I don't think any of these work, right? This one doesn't work, does it? Let's try all 3 of us in the bracelet. 2 plus 5 plus 7 is 14. This combination works, and the number for this bracelet is 4. Oh, I see, so... Oh. Oh, error. It didn't open. And this bracelet is not 4. Then Junpei continued. So if it's 29 and this bracelet is 2, they decided to use the following combination. Snake and Junpei. This one. Let's try Snake, me, and the bracelet. Snake and Junpei is 2 plus 5 plus is equal to 7. If this combination works, then the number for this bracelet is 2. Ba-ding. Oh, didn't open. Okay, mysterious bracelet wasn't 2. Okay. Guess it's not 2. Then Junpei continued. They decided to use the following combination. Junpei and 7. Let's try me, 7, and the bracelet. It's 3. If that works, then the combination for this bracelet, the number for this bracelet, is 6. They scanned in their bracelets. Whoa, hang on. So that doesn't mean it's part of that weird number system. It opened. Yes, so it would seem. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experiment would produce anything useful and looked rather confused. Snake was as usual calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought. That means the bracelet is actually 6. 5 plus 7 is equal to 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. But how is that possible? The display on the bracelet clearly shows a 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had until recently been dry. Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh? At any rate, we know now that the door can be opened. Let's go. But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah, you know, only Junpei and I can go through this way. You needn't worry, I have a solution to this problem. Last resort? But if now is not the time for the last resort, then when? Last resort. Okay. Junpei, 7 and Snake ran, full tilt down a long straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distractions. As they ran, Seven spoke. Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were going to get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat? As I told you, it was the last resort. He cut his arm off. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I'd have come in a great deal of suspicion. I imagine that most people would have taken it to mean that I was Zero. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off. Snake's plan had been simple but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei it had looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Jesus. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so... Oh, was it on his fake arm? How had he done it? My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm. Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. I know this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm glad that's a fake arm. You don't have to be afraid of the door if you don't got a bracelet. You are correct. He'd walked through the door easily, without authenticating. He stepped out to the other side unscathed and began running down the hall alongside Seven and Junpei. They kept running for a while longer and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase. I think these stairs connect to the bottom deck. Doesn't look like it's underwater. They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them at the end of which there was a single door. Let's go through the door. Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. It read, Incinerator. Incinerator? Oh my, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps? Yeah, right over there. How did you know that? Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so. Ugh. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever. If you pull it, the door ought to open. Got it. He pulled the lever down. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them was Ace and Lotus. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was that what Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door. What? Why? Why is there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Warning. Warning. Emergency incinerator command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes, of course. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero. A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face. What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain. It said that the incinerator system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame. Huh. Who are you? You don't recognize me. I'm hurt. It's me, Snake. Snake? Ah, yes. You are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth. If you don't mind my asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei 7, the three of you couldn't have opened the door with 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps? What? 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 4 is 18. 1 plus 8 is equal to 9. Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not. Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten. Oh, they haven't told you. Told me what? Clearly not. Normally I'd take some time and enjoy the moment, but I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover. Don't do it, Ace. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. Clover. I said stop it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile. Clover died. The colour left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see. Well, if she didn't die, she would have died anyway because the whole place is flooding now. What? I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her. Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked up to Junpei, disturbingly like a demon. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, do you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily. There was no resistance. That feeling was, I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday perhaps I hope I can feel it again. Incineration will begin in 7 minutes. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you now. Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible. What was that? I'll kill you. I'll kill you! Ah, so you're going to kill me? Please do. Come now, I'm waiting. Don't do it. Don't listen to him, Snake. Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, my boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't, Snake. Don't do it. But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Ugh. Ah! Ah! Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. Scared Hagrid. It's alright. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Snake! Snake! Oh, wow. Easy. Yeah! Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room towards Junpei, her eyes wide with terror. Lotus! Hurry, this way! Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she'd made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them. Ugh. Incineration will begin in 5 minutes. Give me the woman. He raised the gun. I need her. Without her bracelet, I'll be unable to open this door. 1 plus 8 plus 9 is equal to 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Just in case you need to know. Quickly now, I don't have time for your shenanigans. In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor. I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I'll take Lotus's body with me and leave this room. Incineration will begin in 4 minutes. Well, it looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Damn it. Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. You could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh. Goodbye. Then it happened. Kill you! Snake stood up. What? No, that's impossible. For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward 1 step closer to Ace. Then another. He looked, for all the world, like a zombie. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead. Stay away from me, get back. Stop, if you come any closer, I'll get away from me. Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury. Listen, I said don't come any closer. Shit, you bastard. Oh my god. Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor. Incineration will begin in 3 minutes. Huh, finally. But Snake wasn't done. I'll kill you. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. 1 bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg. You won't get away. And the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone. You son of a bitch, you're a monster! Get off me, let me go, damn you! He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. Gah! Ugh! It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it. This is it, Snake. Ace, I'm Snake. Sorry about that. I've been shot a bunch of times. We're going to burn to death together. What? Incineration will begin in 2 minutes. Ah, damn it, damn you! Get off. Let me go, you monster. Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me. Let me go. Pathetic. Begging for your life. Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices, and the words were strained. Snake, that's enough. You can stop now. Yes, he's right, Snake. You've done enough. Come on, Snake. Let's go. Let's get out of here. You have to come with us. We have to leave together. Snake turned toward them. He coughed, and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled a sad sort of smile. I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me. Shut up. Be quiet. I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go. Incinerator will begin in 1 minute. God damn it. Shit, we're out of time. We gotta go. Seven ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks, where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat. Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here. Now! Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave, growing taller and taller and taller. And then it broke, crashing down with a thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind. Snake! Snake! Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to. Wait, don't be an idiot, Junpei. He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his sides and was hauling him bodily back toward the door. No! No, I have to help Snake! 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 Get off me! Let me go! Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7. 6. Damn it, I don't got a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, alright? 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. Gates 2 and 3 were locked down. Beginning incineration. Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep in his stomach and then his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt toward the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. He's... There was a small window cut into it. Inside he could see Ace and Snake. Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this. Answer me. Answer me, Zero. Why? Why? 0, 0. 1, 1, 0, 0. And that's the end of Ace and Snake. 0! He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand that she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door in the hallway they'd come down earlier. Hey, wait, Junpei! Junpei, where are you going? He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped. You stay there. I'll go get Santa and June. And I guess that's where we're going to end this episode of 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Thank you so much for watching. Is this going to immediately go to credits? I guess we'll find out next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.